to encourage and empower people to think for yourself and question authority. Now that can get you in trouble. Think about it.
So who do you think is the most dangerous man today then?
Well, I don't think individuals are dangerous. I think systems are dangerous. Parties are dangerous. The Communist Party. I think organized religions, which is an oxymoron in itself, organized religion. It's institutions and groups getting together that cause all the danger. And one individual human being, what can she or he do except express her opinions or give her his point of view? So,
yeah, it's hard to break through a system.
Individuals are great. It's groups that cause all the trouble.
Yeah, but how can you change this? It's hard to change the system. We tried in the 60s. Didn't work. Not really.
I think it worked.
You do? What changes do you see?
Well, I think we've got a baby boom generation here of 78 million people who are the best educated in history. They're the most open-minded. Their hearts have been broken, so they're tough, they're strong, they survived. They've seen Kennedy go down, they've seen Watergate. I feel very optimistic about the young people in this country. Granted, we had a little trouble with the first baby boomer to achieve or try to achieve high office was Douglas Ginsburg.
That was pathetic.
But you're going to see a lot more scandals like that in the next 20 years.
Do you think if it was the 60s, he would have been put through?
Well, you can't go back. See, the 60s was the time of high school and college and coming out for this young generation. So you can't go back to high school. You can't go back to your junior prom, however beautiful you must have been in it.
What do you think of Nancy Reagan's campaign? Don't just say no. What do you think of that?
Let me say in preface that I'm not a great admirer of the Reagan White House. I think it's the most amazing collection of nitwits and Looney Tunes. Clown show. But there's one place where I agree with Reagan and Nancy Reagan. Say no for kids. We've got to tell kids, coerce, persuade in every way, keep kids from taking dope. Now it's different. You know, when you talked about the kids back in the 60s and 70s, we were talking about college kids.
Right.
Like Woodstock, there were 500,000 people there, young people, probably smoking some marijuana, but they were post-pubescent. They were half
probably smoking some marijuana?
Well, certainly.
Get a grip here.
But things have changed. Everything's kind of accelerated. I've got a 14-year-old kid, and he sees like X-rated cable TV shows.
I know.
The atmosphere now is tougher. It's harder, so that kids at a very young age are being exposed. There were no 12 and 13-year-old kids at Woodstock. Notice, for example, the music. Back in Woodstock, people were smoking some marijuana, but it was kind of easy marijuana. And all you have to do is give peace a chance, and all you need is love. And the birds are saying, turn, turn, turn. It was sweet, it was mellow, it was positive, it was optimistic. Now, look at MTV. You got tough, hard driving, and the drugs today are hard driving, and the poor kids, 8 and 9, 10-year-old kids that are watching this. I mean, you got... With my 14-year-old son, I used to sit down with him. You can't bring out the National Guard, Nancy. You have to sit down with your young person and say, look, your mother and I do things that you can't do. For example, there's liquor on the table there. You can't drink liquor. You're too small. There are the car keys on the kitchen sink. You can't drive the car. You're too young. We got a chainsaw in the garage. You can't do that. You can't take drugs.
So you're a strict parent then?
Not at all. It's common sense. Call me Attila the Hun, but you can't make love to your mother either.
Let me ask you a question.
Common sense. It's common sense.
Let me ask you before we go, because the time is really short on this show. Believe it or not, it's almost over. Do you still do drugs?
It's my right as an adult American to decide who or what I put in my body. Oh, come on, let's be commonsensical here. I'm not going to let bureaucrats in Washington
But you did a lot of acid.
What I'm going to do with my mind or my body.
Do you think your memory is worse than Muhammad Ali's at this point?
I'll give you a clinical answer to that. There are 3 side effects to psychedelic drugs. The first side effect is very complicated. It's called long-term memory gain. You just see too much. The second is short-term memory loss, and the third I forget, but I'll be back.
Thank you very much for coming. Don't drop out. We'll be right back after these messages. That was a real...
Hocus Pocus, stay in focus. Shazam! It's Lainey Kazan.